Up next, it's going to be quite the matchup that I think many people are looking forward to. It's going to be Cypher up against k1llsen for week number 8, stage 4, Quake Pro League. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name's k1llsen, joined by ZSX, and this is definitely, I think, one of the matchups that people have been most looking forward to today, and I'm sure you'd agree with it.
Yeah, man. This is the game of the day for sure. I think last game was tasty, and everyone expected a big performance, and Avic gave us one, but only Avic gave us one. Whereas in this matchup, I do expect both players to come out guns blazing. I think it might be the first time they've matched up officially since they met in the final back in stage 3.
And even that was, late stage of the tournament where both players were having an absolute miracle performance. Cypher looked almost completely unstoppable up until that point. And I think he was, he's always looking for an opportunity to always one-up himself. He's a player that is always about his own personal growth. Well on the way of doing that at the moment, and we'll see if he can continue that today versus k1llsen, who, he looks incredible at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Cypher's an artist, whereas k1llsen's a robot. That's the kind of direction I go in. Like Cypher is just incredible to watch, whereas k1llsen is flawless in terms of mechanical skill and just perfection on the map. So it's just two great players that go head to head, but they both definitely have their off days. Cypher, I think, comes more from a mental point of view, whereas there's just days where k1llsen's aim just doesn't go online, particularly with his rail, which opens up his game. And so it is dependent on if k1llsen turns up and hits as hard as he was hitting in the stage 3 finals, then I can definitely see him walking away with this. But otherwise, we've got to side with Cypher.
I've been checking the chat during in between breaks and stuff like that. Shout outs to the lovely people tuning into the stream right now that quite a few people seem to favor Cypher in this. I know Cypher's got a lot of fans and there's a lot of people that always believe in him. But I think like some of the people, they seem to favor Cypher in this matchup. Some people think that he's got a good chance to get that 3-0. So it's nice to see that there's people that have confidence in him. But I think it's more likely that we're going to have a close affair. I don't think a 3-0 is likely. I know we've been burned for saying that before today because we've definitely had the opposite happen. But I kind of like Avic versus k1llsen. I think we are guaranteed to just have a damn entertaining performance from both sides. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, all I want is a good matchup. For this, I don't have any sides. I don't care who wins. My gut's saying it's going to be a k1llsen 2-1, but Cypher always finds a way to prove me wrong.
But he's always about, I think recently, just going beyond those expectations. And, we've talked about it so many times, and I'll always say that it's good that we have actually reached this point now where in Quake Champions, we're talking about Cypher as an absolute one of the best in the world. And it's nice that we're finally able to talk about that, and we're not talking about how he just keeps falling short and just coming up short. And it was super heartbreaking for him. It was heartbreaking for the people that obviously had been continuously, everyone's tuning in, they always want him to do well. And now here he is, really smashing those expectations. And we'll see if he can do it today. Pick some bans we can go into right now. And it's going to be Awoken as our first map, Ruins of Sarnath, and then the Blood Run. Everything is pretty standard to a degree. And on the Ruins of Sarnath, Cypher goes in with the Keel pick again. I really think that he is just... That just seems to, as of recently, be his Ruins pick. That's not the first time we've seen him pick that champion at all.
No, and as much as it is, in theory, a quite open map with plenty of angles, as we saw with base earlier, there is a way to play it in a slow tempo, methodical style. There are strong choke points for each of the major items, and if you just dominate that heavy with the kill, if you're falling into that little contested box, it's just a bloodbath. So Kill's a good pick there, but we also saw the power of llsen on Ruins as well, something that Avic showed us last series. Awoken, we have Doom versus k1llsen. We've seen that plenty of times today. Once again, I do favor Doom, but they're both very strong in their own ways, particularly with the fallback ability on totems with k1llsen. And then finally, Blood Run. I think that k1llsen might struggle with Anarchy if Cypher gets ahead of steam there.
Now, for one of our last times of the night, we still have one more series to get through after this. Who do you think has the itch?
I said k1llsen 2-1 before. It's going to be relatively close, but I'm definitely feeling k1llsen today.
I feel like, you know what? I'm going to go on the opposite end. I think 2-1, but I'm going to back Cypher. I just think that both of these players are super fun to watch. I'm really excited for it. Thanks for joining us, everyone, so far. Remember, this is week 8. We do not have many of these weekly shows left. So these kind of last-minute victories before we go into the big finals, it's going to matter a great deal, especially with 2 Titans like this going head-to-head. Get involved in social media, share the stream out, hashtag Quake Pro League. This is one hell of a matchup, and the more people that see it, the better.
Absolutely, and there's no better matchup to have than the previous finalists. So let's hope it lives up to the hype. I think if we have to be honest, that matchup was pretty one-sided. So for me, Cypher's got a point to prove.
And I think he knows that better than anybody. As we now load into our first map, it's going to be Awoken, k1llsen, and Cypher. Let's get this show on the road. A massive run back. And we'll see who's going to get that first piece of advantage, I suppose, as Cypher, he spawns near the rail. The rail is all he has, though, so he's got to be very careful and make sure he's hitting these shots. It's doing it so far, 3 rails in a row, and k1llsen goes down, 1 frag.
Not a bad start for Cypher.
That totem's going to connect as well, which gives him that extra information. Combine that with the fact the Mega just got taken. He's going to get another totem ready pretty soon. Remember, k1llsen's passive, those health pickups shorten the cooldown of totems. Oh, yeah, that rocket. Not about the damage for k1llsen, more about just knowing, okay, he is in fact up there. Looks like Cypher's trying to maybe bait k1llsen into a free rail angle. Oh, he's halfway through taking it though, isn't he? He's coming up. Oh, right as Mega gets taken. Cypher in without being punished. These defensive rockets are going to come through. k1llsen's actually able to get some really good damage on the retreat. Now Cypher has to make a choice. What's the play going to be? That rail's really important. You can only just tank a rail at this, and you're still not going to be out of the woods. Yeah, k1llsen's looking to put on that pressure. Okay, he's going for control. He's keeping Cypher without armor.
This is what k1llsen does so well. He just plays the middle of the map and makes sure he controls his opponent's positioning. And as soon as he finds an opening, he will pounce. He creates so many rail angles and follows it up often by hitting them.
That must have been the frame he touched the teleporter for him to go through the teleporter right as it happens. Both players in a 1-1 situation, but with Cypher fresh off the spawn and only an LG in hand, it's definitely k1llsen that's in more control, especially with this Mega that's just about to spawn.
And you can see how long he's left the heavy up because he cares about positioning more than the items. He gets his opponents cornered and then pounces and falls back onto items. Such a hard play style to counter when your opponent has control and hits as hard as k1llsen does.
k1llsen was on the hunt down towards heavy machine gun too, and knowing that Cypher's down there, definitely seemed to catch Cypher off guard too. The cheater, very much right with how this match is going down. But with this heavy as the next objective, Cypher, I mean, he has to really try and make the most of this. The totem does mean he's all right, but he gives up a free rail shot. He can still tank it. And both players
Cypher
incredibly
didn't have a
weak.
rail though. Fortunate as that's the only lifeline k1llsen had. It was a good play from Cypher to read the situation. k1llsen's back to his camp up in mid-ground here, patrolling. Uses audio cues extremely well.
And we can see, I was about to say he was overstacked before one of the totems went down. If the other two can at least survive, the overstack's going to be quite severe, but what's also severe is an aggressive k1llsen to chase that down. 3 to 1.
I don't think there's anyone better than k1llsen at forcing spawn frags.
Oh, this is very risky. Oh, that's it. No way. There's no way you're surviving that one. Not with the rockets open. You had like 90 health and that's it. Oh, almost a ring out. Not quite though, but still a Cypher on the back foot. I mean, there's all kinds of totems here to overstack him, so there is going to be that element. It's just, I'm nervous about his weapons, or lack of in this case. k1llsen can just delete the health down, but he does manage to get the LG with 20 health to spare, just in time.
The reason why Cypher got that was that overstack. He's managed to get 3 totems up, and that one in that frag.
Speaking of which, here we go again. The totem's just about to come back. In 5 seconds, he can do it all over again.
The fact that all 3 of those totems are in that corridor shows you, essentially, k1llsen's heats map. He hasn't been to that side of the map once because he just wants to maintain position on the mid-ground in the middle of the map.
Cypher trying to keep his stack. Yeah, caught off a little bit right there. Here comes k1llsen, still looking good. And still looking really strong. We're about to hit that halfway point on this map. I do wonder what's going to happen, because quite a couple of Cypher's opportunities have come from overstack. Oh, looking for a mid-air, not quite.
Yeah, k1llsen just camping up on the rail, knowing that Cypher needs that weapon. He did pick it up though, so that's gone now. k1llsen does make his way back round to the banana to pick up the lightning gun, but doesn't go the full way round.
Gets the rail shot right as Mega gets taken. And now back to the information game. You said sitting around the center of the map, listening out for those audio cues. He's doing the exact same thing now. 3 seconds away from this heavy spawning, so he's going to have to try and play the rocket dance.
Rocket, so he can't really drop down, but
wow.
He's done enough damage, and k1llsen stuck around. I thought he was a bit healthier than he was.
Here comes more of that setup near banana, though.
What?
Yeah, that's a lot of LG damage in a short space of time. Oh, the rocket to shut down the totem. A little victory for k1llsen. They get the trade. No. Who's going to spawn there? All right, Cypher. Oh no, k1llsen beats him to the rocket. Oh no, they both go for the rocket and k1llsen gets it.
Oh, unfortunate.
I mean, the question is, how much more work has that one encounter forced upon him? k1llsen wants to shut down this Mega any way he can, but he has to focus on his stack at the same time. Oh, that one frag. How much more work is Cypher going to have to do now? He's getting a respectable amount of LG, actually, in that fight. It's got to be said. Low on rockets, though. Only 2 of them. Has no time to detour. Well. Oh, somehow that plasma completely fails to hit its mark.
Hasn't got a rail, low on all ammo. Lucky k1llsen hasn't pushed because he doesn't have anything to work with. k1llsen obviously not aware of that.
But k1llsen's just way more focused on just playing this retreating game. And that's really what it is. He's just, you know, playing the game of hitting damage when he can, but just make it difficult for Cypher to have these opening. Really good shot. That should by all means be it. One more shot will do it, but there's k1llsen. He's ready for the angle, but Cypher knows even at this point, there is a shred of a chance right now. There definitely is, but if he concedes another frag, it's going to get even harder.
I mean, you hit k1llsen's play style on the head, really. He never wants to overextend or hard commit for fights unless they're in his favor, usually after back-to-back rails. Just wants to play positional game. Polar opposite of a Vec. For having to respect that.
But I'm looking at the clock right now, and the fact that we just have over 2 minutes left of it.
It is a worry, but
yeah, Cypher has a lot of work. It's possible now, especially if he gets these kind of encounters, but the rockets from k1llsen are insanely good, and the fact that he's in a position to get more. Oh, Cypher, I mean, I really think he could have highly benefited from getting a frag right there.
Yeah, k1llsen quite fortunate to be bounced away, and he does survive. That's more time wasted. Cypher has to reset. The stacks are relatively even. Obviously, k1llsen doesn't want to commit for any items now, but keeps or does need to do damage. Otherwise, the pressure will continue to mount.
Here comes a trap potentially being sprung. He's just letting him go, not giving him his position away. I like it. Smart. Why even take damage at this point when Cypher has all this work to do? He doesn't know you're here. It's going to take him ages to cycle back around and find you again. Have the rail angle. k1llsen.
That rail has given him the stack advantage. All of 3 seconds. Nice. Takes the risky jump up. Wait there, Cypher doubles back, knowing that k1llsen's going to try and double back himself.
He chases it down, but he takes a lot of damage,
There
even
is
with
time.
the heavy. Heavy
There's
in 3
definitely
seconds,
time.
but Cypher is very weak. Not that k1llsen's really in a position to do much about it. Right, if Cypher finds him now... Uh-oh, he makes chase. The tri-bolt. Cypher no choice but to go straight through the flames, right through it. And k1llsen's gone back to this retreating style. Can
Such
Cypher
a hard
find him?
task to catch your opponent on this map.
And the
Particularly
tri-bolt.
when k1llsen has that double jump, it's much more efficient and quicker to get across the map. That's all he's doing. He's just running this circle from one side of the heavy to the other.
Right, can Cypher get him now? He has to get him. No, he misses the shot. That missed rail is it. That's the map done right
Good
there.
game.
If that rail hit its mark, then there was a fool's hope, I think. There was a small chance.
There was
almost.
a smidgen.
But it was taken away by a missed rail. But, I mean, all the props to k1llsen for that one. He played that map incredibly well. And Cypher, Cypher did what he could, but the use of the double jump, the slippery nature of k1llsen, hard to pin down, always having an angle ready. And, Cypher had to work hard to just exist on that map. So, map 1's going to go to k1llsen. 2 more left to go.
k1llsen did 1,100 more damage than Cypher and had virtually no control in relative terms. Close combat rockets and rail were king for k1llsen, and they're 2 things you would expect out of him. So we said which k1llsen was going to turn up. Now, it wasn't the one that was hitting absolutely everything back in Stage 3 finals, but it was definitely someone who was in their groove.
And that was just one map. As we're now going to be cycling over onto Ruins of Sarnath, we get the always interesting keel pick from Cypher on this map, something that he's been doing a lot for a long time, and it has been working quite well for him. However, he's going up against the k1llsen from k1llsen.
Yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. You wouldn't see this normally, this pairing on Ruins, but we've already spoken about the logic behind the 2 picks, and there can be the snowball approach from Keel, but at the same time, with k1llsen's rail, we'll obviously expect him to be able to chip away at that stack from Cypher. Offensive play style, I imagine. Unless he does get that critical mass of stack where he can keep the pressure up. But knowing the way k1llsen plays, I expect this to be quite a slow map.
And with k1llsen being, Railson, right? He's got that, one of his many nicknames for a reason. And that's because his rails, when they're on fire, are some of the absolute best in the business. And then we combine the fact that Keel is a larger target and he's easier to hit. And Cypher knows that. He knows that's what he's going up against. So there's no doubt that that's going to, really, I think, change his game plan around a little bit. He knows he's going to have to play slow. He's going to have to play respectful. Cypher has confidence in his aim anyway. So knowing that you're likely to take more damage in these fights because you're a larger target means you have to return the damage the same way. And I think he's confident to be able to do that. But we'll see. Warm-up has now taken place.
Get away from him as he did in map 1. He gave away, I think, 4 or 5 frags in quick succession. And then that just allowed k1llsen so much breathing room to play positional and keep hammering away as an opponent. Didn't even need to overcommit for items. And we said that k1llsen's one of the best in the world at stringing frags together. You just need to prevent that from happening.
Now we're checking things out from k1llsen's point of view first. The turret dropped for information. Speaking of information, that Mega is going to go to Cypher with k1llsen, at the very least having timing on it. And we are now down into that initial start. Oh, that rocket. Not about the damage, it's more for k1llsen just knowing that Cypher was in fact round there. And now he's able to take it away.
Give him information of where Cypher now is.
But information is going to be so key when you're trying to hit these rail shots. You're looking for that range damage. You're looking to chip away the stack. k1llsen has it in mind. He has a complete rough idea where Cypher is, and he's pretty much bang on the money. Well, he was. Now we're changing things a little bit, as Heavy is going to be the next objective. Now, Heavy it's good for k1llsen that he has this stack advantage, and he has got the utility and the 2v1 factor of a turret, because one of the things that makes Keel so scary in these situations is the fact that his grenades make these tiny rooms very hard to challenge, because the damage is absolutely off the charts.
You can see the respect coming out from Cypher already, not contesting any of these major items.
Cypher is going to hold his ground, and he's going to eat 2 rockets because of it.
Yeah, and did nothing really to k1llsen, all things considered.
Definitely has the right call out on the spawn. Now this is that tricky position. How do you escape? Actually looks like a rare footage of someone actually able to escape that quite happily, had he not turned around and eaten the rocket, I guess. But k1llsen playing the center of the map and trying to stop Cypher from taking some of these. Looks like he did get a rail, though. k1llsen's going to eat one of those. Oh, can't match it.
The problem is now that k1llsen is the one with the stack, and k1llsen is a medium champion, so has a good fighting stack to work with. Keel doesn't have a lot.
And
Cypher
this
needs to find a way to get on the map. He's only had 1 mega, 0 heavies. k1llsen's got a lockdown.
As long as k1llsen maintains full control of this map as well, he will very rarely be outstacked. Like, Cypher's not really going to be in a position where he can just force his way in, even with the grenades. And that's, yeah, off the spawn rails, you have nothing to fight. k1llsen knows this is free damage. Has to be careful with his peeking now, especially off those grenades. Ouch. That one hurts. Oh, he peeks it again.
Greedy k1llsen.
And Cypher ready for it. I can only assume k1llsen maybe would have thought Cypher wasn't peeking that. Maybe he was going to go down towards Heavy. Either that or, like you said, yeah, just assumed he could get it.
Yeah, he obviously hoped that Cypher, knowing he was weak, thought he wouldn't double back, but always check.
That has given Cypher an opening, at least. We're only 3 minutes on the clock. I mean, it's not been too much of this map done. Only Cypher can get another pretty clean frag, I think. He has to be careful with his stack. If he's almost dead and then k1llsen spawns near like a rail or an LG and he's close range, then it's still a good situation for k1llsen. Cypher. All right, Mega in the hand of k1llsen. Cypher again has to just rely heavily on these light armors and these light healths.
k1llsen doesn't have a rocket yet, so should prioritize that, because you can't defend these choke points without one.
I do like that added element of Keel being able to kind of like spam around that hallway without really needing to use any of his weapons. Just the angle alone of the grenades make it quite an interesting grenade point. But now with Cypher having so much armor, if he fights now, he might be quite comfortable. But I just don't see k1llsen making this easy for him. k1llsen is likely to always keep him far away, always look for these rail shots.
k1llsen's doing the smart thing and not focusing on the heavy armor unless he knows it's safe. So it's such a dangerous zone when Keel is stacked. k1llsen's maintaining high ground, trying to use audio cues, as he will do. Catch Cypher here. Oh, Cypher to get the Mega though, and hits a couple of good grenades. He's quite low, but the finishing rail is perfect. 3-2.
Perfect execution on that fight from Cypher. Taking absolutely minimal damage. It's like we said, a relatively clean frag. And with k1llsen spawning on this side of the map, he's not going to have a rail. He's probably only going to have a nail gun too, I imagine. Maybe a little bit different now, as he's unlikely to immediately drop down, which he's not going to do. k1llsen's objective, let's get some of these weapons. He's only got a rocket launcher so far.
Cypher did the same play as he did before. He could have got another frag, as he rightly said. k1llsen didn't have a lot of weaponry to work with, and not a lot of stack. Nice rail from Cypher. And you can see how much respect he's showing. Hits the rail, could follow up, but decides just to slow it down. He doesn't want to lose stack unnecessarily. There is so much time remaining. He doesn't need to make any outlandish, extravagant plays. Just hit your shots. Don't take return damage. That really is the key. And then you can contest like this.
A big fight, but this fight looks like it's slightly favoring k1llsen on stack alone. He has the angle. Great shot. And Cypher doubling back. Risky business, because now he really is stuck in no man's land. He has to make sure he outguns k1llsen here. Both players have no choice but to go in. Cypher swapping to LG, the grenade. So close. Oh, the rocket's going to hit its mark.
Cypher is playing perfect Quake at the moment, but he is quite low. k1llsen's got a rail to work with. Can he hit another one? No, he can't. But he's still taking the Mega, which means he does have some stack to work with, and they're both extremely low as k1llsen. Cypher's dodging the turret.
Oh, that one right over the top of the head, I think. That
Lucky
shot.
k1llsen is bald.
Yeah. If Q actually had hair that had a like a hitbox, I guarantee that would have been it. That would have been it. Right, Mega is going to go into the hands of k1llsen. But it's all about getting that weaponry too. Cypher's doing a great job of catching k1llsen without much to work with. Good rail. Start things off. A little bit more needed, but certainly better than nothing. Oh, Cypher, he's out of rockets. This isn't good. Has to play the game. Don't get hit. Able to win this rail. 1v1 hits the shots. Hits the shots. Really good play there from Cypher. I mean, it's just the confidence in his own aim. I know we touched on this at the start of the map. You know you're going to have a high likelihood of taking this damage because of your own large size, that you need to be able to repay that damage, and Cypher more than able to do that so far.
Forced to back away as k1llsen hits another rail. And as we said, this is a slow game, and the emphasis now is definitely on k1llsen. He's tried to play this positional game up on the high ground, but Cypher has worked around it to perfection. And now needs to keep playing these choke points. He doesn't want to overextend into the mid ground. Play the corridors, play the choke points. Set up early for this heavy.
2 minutes on the clock, and Cypher, my fear is that he's very, very low on ammunition. He's got no rails, he's got 2 rockets, he's got 20 LG.
Oh.
I'm confident he knows about it. That's why he's not going to push down too hard, but...
Yes, it's partly why he had to retreat there. He might have stuck around longer, but didn't have perfect timing, I imagine. But now he's given up map controls to k1llsen. This is dangerous because the pressure becomes unrelenting, sorry.
Minute and a half, he's wasted a good 30 seconds at least. Ooh. But the moment k1llsen's able to push in and get the attack.
Oh, no, that's the turret information. k1llsen will know where he's gone.
Nice defensive shot from Cypher. And he is doing a great job of retreating so far, just listening out for all the key information. k1llsen has to make something happen very soon. Right, Mega taken. More timing. Cypher, information, running the circuit. But k1llsen has to be so careful when he makes chase. In these tiny corridors, the amount of grenades Cypher will have to work with. If you chase this down, even with the stack... Oh, that missed rail. Unfortunate.
Can Cypher out k1llsen for the last minute right now? He's done a great job so far, but k1llsen has rocket jumped up. Just missing the big Keel, who is going to sneak back down to the low ground and play by the jump pad.
Oh,
turret is there.
k1llsen soon to follow, it looks like. But he has to try and head him off. I do love this angle from Cypher, actually, because he is picking the hardest to chase locations. Here he is.
What a rocket. But he jumps on the jump pad, and that isn't mutual. k1llsen has time. Can he find it? But he's got no stack. Keel, should I say, is really stacked.
I don't even know if he actually has the stack to win the fight. That's what I was nervous about. He goes down. I mean, he's found him. But, I mean, Keel has so much stack. That's not happening. Not happening. 1-1.
Wow, that was quite the game. It was so strategical from both those players. And it's incredible from Cypher to limit the amount of damage k1llsen was able to do, considering the size of Keel. Likewise for k1llsen to maintain his composure on that high ground when Keel was so stacked himself. So credit to both players for such a great game.
Also want to point out, 2 megas went in the side of Cypher versus 15 megas on k1llsen. So there was a very clear, I think, distinction over the part of the map that Cypher was trying to control the entire time. They were pretty even on heavies, but Cypher definitely liked to prioritize down there. It's the nature of k1llsen. He picks parts of the map that really benefit the strengths of the champion he's playing. And it was that defensive game at the very end, where he's, again, very carefully placing where he's going to run away, because it's very hard to chase down without that crazy movement. There's no crouch slide, no crazy anarchy movement or anything like that. All round, a well-played map, and an even split so far as we now go into our final map. It's going to be Blood Run, Anarchy versus Sorlag.
I'm a little bit
honestly
worried.
Don't know how to make it. I don't know what to make of it.
I'm a little bit worried for k1llsen here. It's having a heavy versus a light gives you such an advantage as a heavy. You've got a lot more breathing room. You can make more mistakes. If you do get control, the stack is just unbearable for a light champion. And all things considered, the actual speed isn't too different between these two. So that core advantage isn't really there. And the way that Cypher was playing last game and has adjusted from game 1 definitely makes me feel like I want to lean towards Cypher.
Well, we're loading into Blood Run now. Thanks everyone for joining us so far. Week 8 of Stage 4 Quake Pro League. Yeah, it really has been... I think this stage in particular has just absolutely flown by, to be honest. I feel like I've blinked and missed most of it. And now here we are going into like some of the final stages of our next matchup. Second to last of the night, Cypher and k1llsen. It's all coming down to Blood Run. And we'll see how this one's going to go. Now there's an immediate fight. Both very similar movement to each other, but like you pointed out, the stack difference is immense. Even with that injection.
It just means you can get in your opponent's face a hell of a lot more. But Cypher does need to show respect. We know how good k1llsen's aim is and how much he can punish you if you do overcommit and overextend. Already seeing that as he's gone multiple points of damage without return.
Wow.
What a rocket jump that was.
Okay. And that rail angle on its own, Cypher's in a pretty bad spot now. k1llsen's happy to just sit back and ride the angle just a little bit, but yeah, immediate first frag. The injection's locked and loaded, so k1llsen has got that sustain if he needs it. And we are going back to classic k1llsen though. Center of the map, ear to the ground, audio cues. Oh, doesn't quite seem to hit his rocket jump though. Back down, it could have been a lot worse. Nice. I mean, if he rocket jumped up there and met Cypher, I think Cypher would have definitely punished him. That range damage should be shutting him down. Cypher is going to pick that one up. I mean, the injection will give you that health, but you are still vulnerable technically during the injection's animation, and Cypher was good to be able to, I think, pretty much shred the damage all the same. Good rails for k1llsen. 2 of them. Oh, the knock up! Ouch. Frags like that just make you, like, it opens your eyes, really. You think that someone has a solid footing. Oh, he goes in for the super shotgun, but can't hit it. Bit of a tragic loss there for k1llsen.
Going in.
Definitely overstayed his welcome up near rocket. Uses the opportunity to get a rocket for himself, but even then it's going to be arguably
good awareness from
suicide.
Cypher. Incredible awareness. Also taking away the lights, meaning Anarchy is so weak, he doesn't even need a rail. Just a couple of shotgun blasts will do the trick.
As Cypher continues, he continues to shut down these lights, which is going to make things really difficult for k1llsen. Spawning with pretty much nothing to work with in terms of stack. And then you have Sorlag, who's just soaking up everything and just laughing at you.
Well, look at the stack difference. Like, what is k1llsen meant to do? He has to run. There's no way he can man up. And even if he rails, like, Sorlag's often going at such a speed or through tight corridors where either you don't hit her, or even if you do, she's then in your face and you're dead anyway. So
I do like that position, though. They should trade that one off, and they will indeed. Good stuff from k1llsen to actually, I think, favor the location where Cypher has to be kind of jumping up a staircase where that LG will shred. Stuck in the air, you get pushed back. Nice positioning.
Playing through choke points where you're doing initial damage, and as you rightly say, you're doing maximum damage, is the key. But he still died for that endeavor.
Now, it is interesting to see. I'm checking things out from Cypher's point of view. He has kind of already got into that highly, highly careful state of play, where he is trying to kind of play around k1llsen, not overextend too much, you know, play on the lead, I suppose. But straight off a frag like that k1llsen's able to seize, and now Cypher has given up some control in the process, means that k1llsen's straight back in the match. We have so much of this map left to go. Oh no, backs off. Who's going to make that play? They're both listening for it. Right as k1llsen stops, Cypher stops.
k1llsen really needs to make these moments of control count, but I guess the difficulty is he needs to have clean engagements. He can't, again, just overextend the same degree that Cypher can. Because even just working off light, Cypher's going to have a very commanding position to fight.
He's going to go in for the aggressive injection. Hits the miracle mid-air. By all means, I think that should have been Cypher.
I think Cypher's happy he died.
They just continue the situation as it is. 5-minute warning. Cypher can pretty much pick up where he left off. All right, he's not going to be able to force in. Can he get some shots? Oh, both players making them miss. Cypher had the same idea, really trying to hit these rail angles. Nothing's really home at the moment. Only one rocket left in the tank for k1llsen, actually. That rocket jump's all he's got, and now he has to get some more.
Ooh, full rocket. Cypher needs to run.
Oh, beautiful use of the teleporter and the patience for k1llsen. The right call. And now only one frag separates the two. Definitely been our closest. I think this is our closest series of the day, without question. Yeah, it's 100%. So close. Under 4 minutes left to go. One frag between the two of them. k1llsen off that heavy now. The stack's pretty even at the same time. Cypher doesn't have a rail yet, though. Might become a problem for him. We'll see if he's able to bully his way towards and maybe take this weapon. That tri-bolt certainly doesn't tickle. But he's still not going to have a rail yet. Now, Cypher playing a runaway game this entire time will be easier said than done. Great use of the lightning gun, though, to push him around that corner. Just catch him for free. Watch out for the rockets! Chooses to push in. I think makes the call that maybe he's going for heavy. Right as Cypher has jumped down. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. That's bad news for k1llsen. Terrible time to spawn. That could even be the one, I think, disastrous situation that could just be the beginning of the end here. Because now k1llsen's he's got no stack, he has no armor. Cypher has just taken the light, and he's got nothing.
That's a sizable shift in momentum there, as k1llsen had played for the last few minutes prior. Remarkable. He had taken full map control, made sure he put particular emphasis on securing all major items. So Cypher was struggling because that stack was so strong for k1llsen, and then, yeah, as you rightly said, that engagement, mutual frag, Cypher was able to get back on the board and has turned the tide.
And from this stage, Cypher can absolutely play a defensive game if he wishes. He's been playing quite defensive this whole time, you know, pounce when necessary, but always play the game of get that shot, put the pressure on, but above all else, just don't give k1llsen much to work with. And from this point, I mean, 4 frags in just over 2 minutes on Blood Run. That is not an easy task. Now, make that 5.
Yeah, I don't think k1llsen's coming back from this one.
He's having to just run full speed ahead. I don't want to say he's checked out. This is just he's pushing in because he knows he's running out of time now. And they're always the frags where the massive climb begins to take place. Cypher in the blink of an eye has got himself 3 frags because now k1llsen, I mean, he's got to push. He has no choice. But he's just spawned. He has nothing. Absolutely nothing. The gauntlet, not even going to work out because the stack is too big. k1llsen, he had starting weapons. The gauntlet was all he had left. And that's just for good measure. k1llsen's not even allowed a bonus frag anymore. Cypher. But what we can definitely say is that I think Cypher's going to feel very happy with this result.
I would say so.
Definitely looking to correct things that went wrong for him in the past. I think he's played incredibly well. Oh dear. That one just, we all felt that one. That one hurt. And a minute of just reflecting on, I think, an amazing series from Cypher. And the ability to just pick himself back up.
We can see how closely matched they both are as well. Yes, this scoreline now is rather unflattering for the German, but up until that point, it was as close can be. And map 1 and map 2 were exactly the same. All down to the wire.
Just the perfect timing there from Cypher. He is going to go down. k1llsen's going to get one more frag, but yeah, this map is long gone. And is the series. As now, as we go towards 20 seconds of this map coming to a close, Cypher is going to seize that 2-1 victory over k1llsen. Cypher has already been on quite the climb as of the past few months, and he's continuing to show that with, at this point, one more frag, and he's getting 20 frags on k1llsen on a single map. Looking like 5 seconds away from it. Runs out of ammo. Oh, no. No, he doesn't get the 20. He doesn't get the 20. Oh well, the GG's come through, and a well-played result from Cypher.
Indeed. What can you say? Cypher continues his upward trajectory and continues to impress.
I'm actually still, after all this time, just what I'm the most impressed with is just where Cypher is on the leaderboards right now. I believe, before all this, I believe he was number 4. With 500 points exactly. At least that's what I can see here. And the fact that, he just took a win over k1llsen, so he's going to get some more. But it's the fact that he has this much points. And, I mean, if anyone's been watching Pro League, he wasn't here at the very beginning. He had to qualify through challenges of stage 1, made it in stage 1, but for an entire 10-week period, Cypher just wasn't He wasn't there. He wasn't getting points. He didn't exist in the league. And now here he is, number 4. He's just beaten k1llsen 2-1. I mean, I think he has to have the single biggest success story of anyone in this entire league.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then all he has to do is take it one step further. He obviously got to the final in stage 3 and was roundly beaten by the opponent he beat today. Can he take it one step further?
I mean, week by week, he seems to get better and better and is continuing to do that. A victory over k1llsen of all players is definitely going to feel good. k1llsen, he's going to be gutted about that because he always wants to strive for perfection. It's what he's all about, and it's why he has the accolades that he has. But today, Cypher's going to be the man of the hour. I know there's definitely going to be some happy Cypher fans out there that will be impressed with his result and happy to see him win, but would you believe it? We have one more series left to go, and then this weekly show of Week 8 is going to be done. Our next match is Rafa versus Dramis.
I'm excited for that one as well. I mean, it's nice to see Rafa every single time, but always like to watch Dramis, who has something up his sleeve, I think, when we ever watch him play, and I'm still convinced he can take at least a map off Rafa, so it'd be good to witness that if and when it happens.
100%, and Dramis is a player that seems to just look really impressive on a week-by-week basis. I know that there was that point where, I think it was last stage, where it kind of seemed like it kind of plateaued a little bit. But any map he can take off someone of Rafa's caliber is going to be interesting to see if he can take it. And I guess we can talk about this in droves, but we're going to go for one final break and set up our next matchup. Remember, Week 8, Stage 4, Quake Pro League. See you soon.